Hello YouTube, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day, a fantastic day even. So today we will be discussing a little bit about how to improve yourself by watching your own replays. So we have been playing our off-roll, which is mainly tank. So one of the least played roles we have. And let me see if it loads at some moment. We'll see. Right now, you see that. So tank is my lowest role. And we've played now some games on mainly Reinhardt. This is also my weakest main tank, or maybe my weakest tank in general. Well, not the weakest one I play. So like D.Va, I'm worse at D.Va, but I just never play D.Va, so it's expected. But Rein is one thing that I kind of think I want to be able to understand, but I'm kind of poor at Reinhardt. So you see our win rate is still 62%. So we have not reached our peak. We are climbing a little bit, but still, we have now played a lot of games where we have tried to play Rein exclusively. And what I want to do is go through this replays and think about how to improve my gameplay out of this replays. For this, of course, we will use a specific tactic. Sorry, didn't want this one. And for this, we will use a specific tactic. And the tactic we will use is basically a cycle where we get some input. I draw with my good hand. Input. Input is mainly can be a few things. So input is kind of own replay. So you play something, you watch your own replay, you see something you want to improve, you change it. It can be just some in-game death, or like you missed a fire strike, you missed a shatter, something went wrong, something was different than you would have liked it, or it can be also a guide or a coach. So you watch a guide somewhere and it says, no, if you play Reinhardt on Hanamura, you should push through this right side door instead of left side, which of course would be stupid to say from someone, but there are better things like, someone tells you, well, you should play aggressive until your armor part of your health is gone, and then you actually should shield up and go cover and wait till your supports heal you back up. Because if your armor is gone, you take full damage, and then that's of course bad for you. Then you kind of want to get your support a chance to heal you back up. And while you have full armor, you go full bonkers, basically. So that's something that someone could tell Ryan. So this is input. So you get one input from somewhere. So out of this input, you go to analyze. And with analyze, this is now specific, always your own replay. And so you see, you go through your replay and you go specifically to situations where the thing you got from input where you want to improve, or if you don't have nothing specific, you're still looking for it. You just go through all team fights. We get to that later if you don't forget it. And so you go to this position where you want to, which you want to analyze, and then you basically just rewatch the scene a few times from different perspectives, just check what is going on, and then you kind of want to have a few different steps in these steps. So it's like more from a deliberate practice point of view. So one thing is, of course, just what happened. What happened? My screen is too small, sorry. So what happened, I think you can still read it. And this is the first thing is, and this is like in Scrum, you just list what was going on. Like, you went there, you put shield up, then you swung your hammer once, then you got damage, then you put shield back up, but keep walking forward, your Ana healed you, you swung again, then the enemy Ryan charged, you counter-charged, you get anti-naded, you get hooked, you died. So, just a random sequence, like something happened. Every team fight, something different will happen. And optimally, you would analyze not one specific team fight because it's very random, very luck-based, but like watch 10, 20. Watch them in 1.5 times speed. Sorry, my nose. And watch them in fast replay. You don't need to overanalyze them, just keep the input rolling. So you see patterns. Like, I kind of tend to overswing and lose too much armor, too much health when the enemy soldier which is burning down my shield. Like see the bigger picture, I would say. No, not like some the most micro gameplay, but it depends a little bit. Like if you improve in mechanics, you might want to see the macro gameplay, but better analyze several team fights, not only one. Like see the bigger mistakes. Then if you have defined what happened, you define what should have happened. What should have happened. And this is more like, well, how do you know what should have happened? And there are two things. One thing is you just define yourself, yeah, well, I should have put shield up 1 second faster. I should have counter-charged. I should have looked in the other direction. I should have had more awareness where my which side threats my supports are holding. I should have well, you should have aimed better is of course one. I should have paid closer to cover. Like, you know, just compare how it should look like and how it looks like in your case. And if you have something specific, you can define specifically, but you can also just watch a good player play similar situations. Like, how does a top 500 Ryan push Hanamura? What's his tactic? What's his goal? What is he doing? Does my gameplay watch the same? Of course it does not, because of course everything changes, your team has changed, everything changed, but some things should be the same. For example, when does a top 500 tank put his shield up and when does he swing? Like, what are the parameters? And back down of that, you can think, when would the top 500 tank put his shield up in your game? Like, what are his triggers when he does what, basically? So this is what should have happened. And you define those two. And out of this, you get a result from analyze, and you go to your change. I'm writing vertically. Nice. Change. And a change, I would rather say it's 2 steps. Right here now for one. So this is like really just define your training. Define specific training how to fix your problem. Like, and there can be different methods. I don't want to go too deep now on how to train it. Just define something really. For example, just define one habit you want to get and drop another habit. Like, you want to exchange the habit of fire striking on cooldown. You want to exchange with the habit of fire striking when the enemies have used all cooldowns. Don't know, something like that. Or you want to exchange the habit with Zenyatta of just holding down left click to exchange with, you want to deliberately click every single left click to aim better. Or you want to exchange the habit of over peeking with the habit to kind of stay close to cover. And then you define a training lesson, how you would train it mostly in-game. But of course you can also train it in deathmatch, or you can define training sessions in custom games and aim trainers and deathmatch. Like, it really doesn't matter where you train it, just define some training anywhere, really. Depends on what you want to train. So in change, this is more like the definition, and then comes the training. And here the important thing about training is you want to play games with your growth mindset. Growth from growing, like a tree does. Like, you don't play a game to win. You play a game only, and you focus only on adapting the one thing you want to train. And this will cost you SR. You will lose games on it. You will get flamed for it. And this is something you need to be prepared for. Example. You play Reaper or Junkrat. The enemies have a Pharah Echo Mercy comp. And your team will flame you for not playing hitscan against this flank comp. But how would you win this game? Well, would you counter the Pharah, or would you maybe just go in and kill the Zulu Anna, which is now unprotected because her Pharah is flying around there? And that's the thing. You want to go in and train killing the Anna. This is more important for you at this point, at shooting the Pharah. Just because you're now doing something that is suboptimal because you lack the skills, doesn't mean it's bad for you in training in the long term. You don't want to win the next game. You want to win the majority of your games. Well, or, you know, while you're climbing, you want to win 60% of your games. Like 6 out of 10. Or out of 13 games, you want to win 7 and lose 6. This is like my realistic equation. Like, you play 13 games, you can get 20 SR. This is all. This is a complete goal, nothing more. And this is the training. And the thing with training is, you don't just do it once, but now after you have finished your training, where you have, like, I can write it down, this is like growth mindset. You will find it mostly in deliberate practice. So this is a term you will find on YouTube a lot. Deliberate practice. And now with this training becomes your new input. This becomes your new input. Why? Because now you have trained the topic, which means you got better at this topic, you got better understanding of this topic, you got training on this topic, and now you need to rewatch. Am I doing it correctly now? Did I improve? And this is really a really important step. Like, cue your brain which part of your training got good and which got worse, and really watch your replays again. What were you training? How did you do? And out of this input step, you go to the previous training becomes the new input, and this new input you reanalyze, and you compare again. What happened? What should have happened? Like, you were training, I don't know, flashbanging above Genjis so you want to flashbang around shields, around Genji deflects, around such abilities, and then you throw your flashbang slightly to the left, and Genji still deflects it. Then you didn't throw it directly at him, so you made some progress, but it still did not work out, so you still need to adapt it a little bit. Or you threw it above Reinhardt, but he put his shield up, flicked his shield, and you still missed the flashbang. So how do you adapt to that? And you still need to re-adapt, and you need to redo this cycle on this adaptation. And then you change again. And with every single iteration of the circle, you get better at this one specific topic. And it's important that these topics are really atomic. Yeah. Atomic topics. I don't mean that you need to study now physics. I mean that with atomic in a programmer sense of view, like the smallest unit which is trainable should be trained here. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe the smallest a little bit too much, but for example, you don't want, I want to get better at positioning. That's too big. Like, define it really, really precisely. Like, you want to train to never walk in front of your main tank. Would be one specific position. Or I want always to have exactly one cover between me and my main tank, or my team, doesn't matter, but it depends on what you're training. So you can go back to your team without crossing the enemy line of fire. An off angle. You want to have the perfect off angle. You don't want to have two covers between you, because then you can get punished. Or you want to yeah, I don't know. It's a really small topic. You really want to react to enemy Ana throwing nades and sleep darts to this animation, because you want to catch this or deflect it or shield it or whatever, or know that's on cooldown. Like, really define really small tasks to train. Atomic topics. So this is a thing we want to train now. So let's apply it in game. I remove this, and I remove this also for you. So now, as we said before, I will pick a random replay where I think I played Ryan. Like you see, I have played already a warm-up today, but we will just pick a lost game. I hope I played Ryan in this game. So let's view it. And usually I said to analyze more replays, but I think for the video I will keep it to one, maybe two team fights, and try to find a solution very fast. Because again, I know more about playing Ryan than I can actually execute. So my knowledge is far ahead of my actual skill. So my knowledge is here and my skill is here. And this is, of course, my knowledge is on like plat level and my skill is on bronze level with Ryan. And so I kind of tend to be in high gold or somewhere. It's a middle ground, but my skill need to actually catch up to my knowledge. That's what happens here. So I said before, you can put it to faster. Let's find the cooldowns for stopping and playing. So we don't know currently what we want to improve, so we just reiterate what happens. So just say loud what happens in this team fight. This is to find our input, basically. This is what we want to do now. So we hear a Doomfist, we fire strike, a corner where they might be is not too important. We try to hold this angle from Doomfist from going in. Try to counterpin the Doomfist, but we actually pinned him instead, so it's fine. We got slapped, but I think it's fine because we are like brawling right now. So here I go for the Baby Diva. This is a bad habit. Baby Diva is irrelevant. And you see my Mora nearly died for it, so this was a mistake. Clump around randomly, we don't know what's going on. Try to catch targets. Fire strike a dead monkey for no reason. Is it? I can even put it a little bit faster. Now we want to charge them from behind, so we hide. We charge in, we heal them going in, we shatter. Okay, it's fine. Then we go full brawl mode. So here it's a little bit fast, maybe to rewatch. So we rewatch the same scene again. That was the wrong button, sorry. I want to reduce skip back length. Let's keep it at 10. Okay. So we skip back to where we were. And now this is what I want to see in detail. And where as soon as we get to the correct position, we slow it down again. By the way, use hotkeys for this one. Actually, I didn't know what I pinned, by the way. I just pinned the first things that came. So this is risky because they could have slapped me there. And I didn't know where they were. Actually, my chatter missed the Enna. So here we lost our armor, so we swung a little bit. We were swinging too long. So we went down to 130 HP before we actually managed to shield up. So I need to predict better when I take damage. Okay. So this is maybe one thing I kind of want to improve now. Like, okay, I am putting my shield back up too late. I take too much damage. I want to shield earlier. Like, let's change this habit. So we watched our health. Again, I'm still swinging while being low HP, which is a mistake. So now I'm getting health back. Swinging is okay. Lucky sleep. Starting the back lane is fine. But maybe we need to find something different. Let's see if this arrow reoccurs. But maybe we find a bigger arrow. Here again I tried to a prediction charge, but it failed. So this is also an error I typically do. I kind of tend to think that my team will recognize what I'm doing, where I am, but they usually don't. I think this is actually a bigger mistake, that I tend to go in without knowing where my team is. Like if you rewatch, my team had basically no chance to react to this one. So they want to hold the right choke. But instead they go in here. Actually, I do not know why they do not go in here now with Lucio and Hawk. So they kite back now, because he missed his hook and now he does nothing. I mean, the thing is that we have the point, the enemies need to attack, so there's no reason for me to be so aggressive. And they of course try to react, but they are too late, and now they're in a bad position because they tried to save me, so I threw this team fight. Okay. This was a hard throw. Now here we try to regroup. Okay, now I go in. Does anyone follow me? Well, they somewhat do, but they really need to use a speed boost, man, to catch up. Because the thing is, enemies are hunting the Moira. So my chat actually hit the D.Va. In-game I didn't think it hit the D.Va, but it's really lucky that Mercy got away. Ooh, Grimface. And Genji also got away. Well, I had 4 targets, I hit only 2 of them. I think this charge might have been too much. I'm not sure if I really needed to sacrifice myself here. But it seemed logical to me at this point. I'm gonna go to cap point. It's random situations, so it's just... this random stuff... Kind of you can see in my gameplay that I just got tilted, because my team never followed me. So I really need to understand where my team can follow me and where they cannot follow me. Let's watch this one again. Why did I die here? So, prediction chart, again, predicted wrong. And I'm open to the complete enemy team for that. So even if that would have hit, this would be risky. But my team is actually with me. So now I'm low. I just died to a Genji. Yeah, of course, shield would not have saved me from a Genji melee attack. Not sure. No, let's rewatch this again. So I go in. My team is losing. Yeah, so I just need to clutch ult, so that was okay. I just needed to reset with my team, basically. I didn't even need ult charge. Maybe could have even just got out. I always feel like it's faster to die, go forward than to try to get to respawn. Okay, now we are regrouped. We are in, we have Shatter. This one we shattered right into the shield, but I think I cannot prevent this one. So, what do I actually see? We charged in to catch up with our team. Yeah, the thing is, I got punched into the shield, this is correct. But at the same time, I didn't know where the monkey is. So if they didn't punch me to the shields, they could have blocked it with shields without me landing. So I need to watch out where the shield is before I shatter. I cannot just randomly shatter. So this is like, we take into the list as third error. We are low. But we hear only a baby diva shooting at us. Try to charge the monkey, but didn't understand where he jumps in. Almost, so this is fine. Not sure if I should have charged here. But since no one is actually good at shooting me, maybe it's okay. And I see 9. Okay. Okay. Oh, already dead. It's left. So here I run around aimlessly, I have no idea what I'm doing. And this is of course bad. I have Soldier Hanzo, which want me to kind of secure just the main sideline, and a Roadhog which secures the off angle, and then they can just decide where they want to shoot. Instead I'm hiding, and I'm useless for my team right now. It's somewhat okay because my team is now busy with playing with the ball, but not securing any angle. Being there inside is, I think, bad. I should have just kited back here. So why and when should I have kited back? How do I see it? So there's actually no reason for me to think that I should go inside here. I know they have Doomfist Genji from the sound. And I think I need to lock down the room from them. But this was actually a wrong call, and then I keep pushing in because I didn't know where to go. So the main error of decision was going to this room, because I just covered too much for my own team. Like I need to control this corridor, and I cannot prevent them from taking the Mega Health back in the end. I think. Okay. So this is just the next mistake. We switch to Zarya, which we do not want to improve now on. I really see with every single second how much I'm keeping to tilt. So I really need to untilt. I think this might be the biggest mistake, as I fix my mentality and not tilt so much. Because all this gameplay now I'm just mad of playing Reinhardt. But it just never works. And I think changing some behavior so I tilt less is now the most important thing. Because of this reason. Just fix my mental, you know. So I want to go here for high ground. And this is just something I just do not know, that the ball can be faster than me and swoop me down. So this I just do not know. Now I know. So this is not much I need to fix here. So I still have life, so I keep pushing, that's fine. Where am I going? Why? Okay, faded in the last second. I'm low HP, I'm not getting healed. I'm waiting for heal. 1 why exactly? So that's the thing that's always tilting me, right? I know the soldier is there, but I cannot go high ground to get booped down. And this things, like this Winston, he's made for such situations, doesn't want to. Kree, Moira, Winston should actually control high ground, and I would control high ground here with Anna, and Tracer would control the right side of the room. But instead, we are kind of set up wrong. So why am I not getting healed? So they are not fighting with me because they're busy with Soldier and Ball in the back. So while I go in, they just stay behind and do nothing. Is this? What is this? This is a dead brick, isn't it? It's random bug. Okay. And Anna doesn't even know where we are or that we are fighting. And she completely lost her position, and it's the center of the point. Like, is Anna usually play like this door, or inside here, or inside right side? Like standing in the center of most far away from everything is just bad positioning from Anna. Well, what can you do? So now I kind of just try to go in hard, because I think we lose this, and we actually do. So here I really don't know what I should have done, honestly, in this fight. Because I couldn't control high ground. Unclear. Now I'm playing Roadhog again. Okay, this is pointless. So I think that's where we leave. So we need to play more with our team and not go to random positions. Basically, this is our input now. Now we know what we are doing wrong. So I need to be more where my team expects me, so more kind of on main. And controlling off angles is not so much part of my repertoire. So here already this charge. So what happened is that I'm running circles. I think I should have even just set up here in the front at this point. Just control the main choke. Because effectively I'm just running around and allowing them to go in. Like if I would just set up with my soldier and Hanzo somewhere, we could just take them down as well, you know. So what should have happened is I should lock down one area. What happens instead is I run circles. Now, my team expects me to just lock down this area. What am I doing instead? I am setting up funny flanks. Which I think is still like... Not sure if I will remove the funny flanks. And again, I think this complete fight is mostly irrelevant. Because I think this is all okay. I mean, stuff is going down. We kind of limit off 3 enemies. Like this one. I don't think I need to go that far to hunt a monkey. This position. And so now here. What should have happened? I should have stayed at the main and helped my team. Instead, I go for a funny flank. Okay, so here we have our input. So now we have defined. Can I actually back my paint? Yes. Ah, you see my paint. So we have the input. We watched our own replay. We found our mistake. Like we go for funny flanks, so where my team doesn't expect me, instead of staying on main. We analyzed what happened. Well, I go flank. What should have happened? I should have stayed main. And now we define the change. So what should change? My position should be more default. I need to win on good mechanics and not on wonky gameplays that will be counted on higher levels anyway. So I need to kind of rely on my good mechanics and just hold on main, and rely on that Ryan is better on holding main than on other tanks. And that if they have also Orion, then I'm just a better Orion. And so now my training definition is, if I go for one flanks, I check if my team is actually following me, and if not, I don't tilt, I go back to my main. And this is especially at points like Greifenwald? No, Eichenwald. Like Eichenwald, Eichenwald, you have this second point, you have this high ground, this castle high ground, and there's just a Hanzo, a soldier, and Ash sitting on top, and your team can only go main. They're just absolutely not able to go left side up the stairs. They're not able to go right side into the castle. They just physically cannot walk outside of the main route. And this will happen on a lot of maps, where people are just physically not able to press the W button to move the character into a non-default position. Like this part of maps just do not exist in their brain. It has no representation. Like unless they play Sombra or Tracer, they just like for example on this map, the people do not know that there is this space outside. Like if you stay here, it doesn't matter how long you will walk around back and forth here, your Anna will never heal you because she doesn't understand that this space exists. It's like you get out of her dimension or something, and that's something you will notice a lot. And so if you go to a position where a team is just unable to follow, they will just rather sink into the ground than to help you. Then you just need to tone down your flanking play, and that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so that's my definition of training. Stay main, and if you go flank, actively look where is your team and do they follow. So now I define my training, and now we'll go and actually train it in game. So we play a few rounds of tank where we explicitly train this one topic. Okay. Awesome. I need to refix my setup. Give me a second. Will take only half a year. So stay tuned. Of course we go for tank. No, my chat died. Oh no! I destroyed my complete setup. Please, you need to survive. You need to live. Skip some time. It might take 1 minute or two until we find a match. Okay, here we go. A match. Hello, team. Nani? Nani? Bosch, KC, Nani, Blackstar, Grumpy Pants. Defense on Blizzard World. Shot! So Blizzard World is a little bit a funny one for main position because it's not entirely clear where main positioning is. It depends a little bit on what your team is actually playing. For example, this space. People coming from spawn, they cannot walk through this area to high ground. They do not know this way exists. Break this stuff so we can drop fast. So you can start holding up there, you can start holding here, you can start holding down there. The important thing is that you kite back. You need to start kite back before your shield breaks and stuff. It might be easy for my team to play high ground, so we just stay here, we do not wiggle. We block the turret a little bit, we block the soldier a little bit. The question is, do we actually go for fire strikes? Actually is about to die. It might be time to drop. They're actually anti-naded. Close. Oh. just try to wiggle shield so Anna survives. And if we survive, we go back to high ground. And now I will basically run back and forth on this one main lane. And you see from my gameplay that a lot of things are now going bad. Like positioning, 5-stacks not hitting, ult clutch generation, all things are bad, but we don't care. We don't care about winning, we do not care about other mistakes. We just go for our one defined training. The first trace of fast track is kind of important because it can push a little bit forward now. Don't overdo it. I'm not getting healed, so I'm waiting. We should have pushed this one honestly, but my team doesn't want to, so we do not over push it. Remember our training. I overstayed my welcome. Yeah, do a fun flank. My team doesn't follow, so we don't go further. They actually do follow, okay. Should not have charged. But I checked that they were on the flank, with me on this flank, before I actually did something. You see my team was there. So we still kept our training target, our training promise, and we keep doing it. The important thing is that even if you fail doing it, it's fine as long as you notice. Just noticing it is enough for your brain to fix this stuff. Shielding there was more important because he would have died anyway from my team alone. We go high ground again. Don't want the Hanson to be on high ground. Okay. Try to save our Roadhog. We need him alive. And we keep kiting back. Woohoo! And dying the dragon. It was bad. Kinda hurt the dragon, but I thought it would go somewhere else, but of course it didn't. Bad! Was it disabled by funny sounds? Ooh! Pretty good at all. Okay, but I think you got the idea behind it, so this is where we will end the video. I hope you enjoyed the show, I hope you learned something. Remember this training circle, and really just play and train. This is one topic you defined. Like, train for 1 week. Don't just say, oh, I trained it once, it's enough. No, train the entire week. Like, you need to push the skills anyway to Grandmaster, so it doesn't matter if you train one skill now or later. Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe, to like, to share, or to comment if you have further questions. Also streaming live on Twitch under the name Yashikigami, as you might have guessed. So if you want to see more, come join my stream. I will answer to all questions you have. And we say bye bye, until next time.